Joe Biden warns of developing ultra-wealthy oligarchy. Let's go ahead and take a look at this, and I want to comment on this because it is going to become increasingly more relevant as we go on in terms of the Donald Trump administration.
And I wish the incoming administration success because I want America to succeed. That's why I've upheld my duty to ensure a peaceful and orderly transition of power, to ensure we lead by the power of our example. I have no doubt that America is in a position to continue to succeed. That's why my farewell address tonight, I want to warn the country of some things that give me great concern. This is a dangerous and that's a dangerous concentration of power in the hands of a very few ultra-wealthy people. And the dangerous consequences if their abuse of power is left unchecked. Today, an oligarchy is taking shape in America of extreme wealth, power, and influence that literally threatens our entire democracy, our basic rights and freedoms, and a fair shot for everyone to get ahead. We see the consequences all across America, and we've seen it before. More than a century ago, but the American people stood up to the robber barons back then and busted the trusts. They didn't punish the wealthy. They just made the wealthy play by the rules everybody else had to. Workers want rights to earn their fair share. You know, they were dealt into the deal, and it helped put us on a path to building the largest middle class, the most prosperous century any nation in the world has ever seen. And we've got to do that again. In the last 4 years, that is exactly what we've done. People should be able to make as much as they can, but play by the same rules, pay their fair share of taxes. So much is at stake.
Which the ultra wealthy will absolutely not do under a Donald Trump administration. So let's get into it, because I know people give Joe Biden a lot of crap, and even I thought that he wasn't going to do as much as he did. But if we look at the Joe Biden administration, we had an FTC that actually did stuff in terms of trying to go after these big mergers such as Kroger and Albertsons. And keep in mind, when these mergers get together, these are a part of the food cost rise, right? When food prices go up, it is because, in part, sometimes due to these big mergers. You also have the NLRB, the National Labor Relations Board, that under Joe Biden was very effective. They brought back unions. Unions had a big increase during the Biden administration. And meanwhile, for Donald Trump, what you're going to have is somebody who is anti-union. This was a guy that went on a Twitter X call with Elon Musk and bragged about how great it was that Elon Musk busted a bunch of unions. This is a guy who is going to do his 2017 tax cuts all over again. And now let's talk about the 2017 tax cuts, because it favored the top 1%, but more importantly, the top 0.1%. Now, we can look at this graph here. If you are in the lowest income earners, your tax cut was $70. $70, and it goes up from there. So $70 if you made under $27,000. If you are in that slightly upper range, you were getting $390 for kickback, then $910, $1,680, $2,930, $12,086, $860. The top 1% got $61,000. So keep in mind, that is already more than a salary of the two bottom categories. More money. But here's the big kicker. If you are in the top 1/10 of 1%, the 0.1%, you are getting $252,300. That is more money than the bottom three groups here combined. That is how much the Donald Trump 2017 tax cuts favors the rich. It is absolutely insane. And we're not even talking about the large permanent corporate tax cuts, which took the corporate tax rate from 35% to 21%, which exempts specific foreign incomes of multinational corporations. So it largely favors the most wealthiest individuals in the country. And the people at the very top knows that, whether they are trying to escape Donald Trump's wrath because Donald Trump loves to go after people who has ever targeted him in any way or fashion ever, because Donald Trump has an extreme victim complex where even though he has gotten away with everything in his life, he still feels like he's a victim. But the mega rich, either one way or another, whether it is to escape his wrath or to get those large, juicy government subsidies or these large tax cuts, they are falling in line under Donald Trump. We've already seen this. Elon Musk has completely bottomed out, by the way, and people like Jeff Bezos are already bending over backwards, having his editorial board call for Trump's AG pick, who lobbied for Amazon. Jeff Bezos also, who has the Washington Post under his wing, he came out and made them not endorse anybody for president when they normally probably would have endorsed Kamala Harris. But Jeff Bezos don't want that because he knows that on the offhand that Donald Trump wins, which he won, he knows that Donald Trump wouldn't like that, and he would potentially not give Jeff Bezos some of that sweet insider access. Zuckerberg is hosting a damn party for Donald Trump. It's kind of like blocked off because I didn't pay for the New York Times, but you can see the headline here. Mark Zuckerberg is hosting a damn party for Donald Trump, and that isn't even talking about the fact that Mark Zuckerberg has already went back on all the fact checking because he knows that Donald Trump is getting ready to just send out a flurry of misinformation, and that his people, MAGA and the MAGA movement, will display misinformation all over the place. And Mark Zuckerberg doesn't want to get on Donald Trump's bad side by ever calling out his BS. So Facebook is going to be worse than ever. They're bringing the slurs back. Okay, yeah, conservatives are very happy for that, but misinformation is going to be everywhere. Mark Zuckerberg knows that. He doesn't care because Mark Zuckerberg wants the bag and he wants that access, and he desperately don't want Donald Trump to sick the SEC on him in any of these regulatory agencies by Zuckerberg's own admission. So this is what we can look forward to. And it's going to have a devastating effect because once you have people like Elon Musk, Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, those are just the people on the outside. We're not even talking about the people on the inside or of these billionaires, these people from the Heritage Foundation who are insanely corrupt, insanely anti-democracy in terms of how they want to function and how they plan to completely gut the administrative state, which isn't just like these corrupt politicians. We're talking about doing basic stuff like the EPA regulatory systems to make sure that our water is clean. Healthcare policy, which Donald Trump even admitted he only has a concept of a plan for. And as a result of all the oligarchs that are slowly coming into Donald Trump's administration, you're going to see more income inequality. You're going to see more political anger, which extends from the income inequality, which will no doubt lead to more poverty. You're going to have more extremism, more radicalization. And unfortunately, you're probably going to have more Luigi Mangionis running around capping people in the streets. And it's going to be, it has potential to be absolute chaos if it's not reined in. Now, hopefully it doesn't get that bad, but it very well could get that bad. And we are in for a ride because we already know Donald Trump is planning to do those tax cuts. And the rich will get richer, and the poor will probably, most likely, as usual, get poorer, but on a much larger scale. This is where the U.S. is headed, unfortunately, and like George Carlin said, it's a big club, and you ain't in it.